You ever stop and think, wow, that would make a great story? Same here. On Cat Stories, we pull together short tales from life that'll make you laugh, think, or just go, yep, been there. My name's Kathleen and let's get started. And for our next post, am I the idiot for shushing someone making a lot of noise behind me in the cinema? My favorite artist David Lynch died a few days ago. A small cinema near me showed his first film, Eraserhead. Mind you, it is a special kind of cinema where it is not allowed to eat snacks inside. My girlfriend is with me and has not watched it, so it is her first showing as well. People behind her begin unpacking a very noisy pack of peanuts. They fiddle with it at least 3 times loudly. I then become fed up and do a loud shush in the general direction, as I could not see exactly who was making the noise, nor did I want to whisper a long sentence. They stop the noise. After the film, the girl with the peanuts say that it was very uncomfortable and that I spread a very bad vibe by making such a loud shush. Her and her boyfriend said it kind of ruined the film experience for them, which I am sad at hearing. I respond that I am sorry that they felt that way, but people making noise in a cinema is wrong, especially here since you are not allowed to eat in there. She obviously did not know this, and there are not good information in the cinema about it either, and other people were also loud with snacks. She angrily says I should just have asked her nicely and that she hoped I would take this experience with me in the future. I feel like many people felt the way I did in the cinema, at least my girlfriend did, but I can't stop thinking about this event, since I might have been too harsh about the way I tried to make her be more quiet. So what are your verdicts? And for our next post, am I the idiot for not giving my account? I'm 20F in an Asian household. I currently don't go to school because I'll be traveling abroad soon. Last Saturday, I was over at my friend's house for a celebration and had my phone on Do Not Disturb. I didn't know my mom called several times, and when I did, I apologized to her. Now because of it, she wanted my account, which got me puzzled, because why would I give it to her? She then threatened to cut me off and has me blocked for not giving my account. It has been 2 days since she blocked me. And for our next post, am I the idiot if I decide to graduate in Florida without my family? I, 28F, will be graduating with 2 master's degrees from an online university. I missed my undergrad commencement due to COVID and celebrated with my family at a buffet in Denny's, which was nice but not what I envisioned. This time, I can attend an in-person commencement, but the closest location is in Florida, an 11-hour drive for me and 14 hours for my family. The trip would cost around $1,500 for my boyfriend and me, and my family likely can't afford to join. Alternatively, I could celebrate locally by reserving a space at round 1 for $500, where my family could bowl, play arcade games, and enjoy food and drinks. While affordable, I'd be paying for everything since my family is poor, and I worry the celebration wouldn't feel like it's for my graduation. A third option is doing both, attending the Florida ceremony and hosting the round 1 gathering, but this would cost over $2,000, which is a huge strain as a full-time student working full-time. I feel torn. Part of me thinks I deserve to treat myself to Florida, but I also feel guilty leaving my family out. They value quality time, but I often end up paying for everything. I want to celebrate this milestone but don't know how to balance my needs and my family's. What should I do? And for our next post, am I the idiot for returning a gift card to the giver? A co-worker that I'm friendly with gave me a Tim Hortons gift card for Christmas. I thanked her, then later on asked her how much is in it. She told me $20. I jokingly said that it should be $200 minimum. We are close, so I was just playing around. Later on, she texted me to tell me that she didn't like the comments I made and I should have just thanked her and left it at that. I was just playing around with her, so it made me feel uncomfortable that she took it seriously. So I told her that I will give her the card back. She said she didn't want it back, but it was up to me. I returned it and left it on her desk. She stopped talking to me. Am I the idiot? And for our next post, am I the idiot for wanting our own room? My husband's family wants to go on a vacation together. They are technically footing the bill but going to a timeshare course while they're there, but otherwise it's free. No one is paying any actual money to be there. He has 3 siblings and both parents. 2 siblings are single and are 41 and 38. The other is engaged and is 36. My husband, 34, and I, 28, have 2 girls who at the time of said vacation will be 1 and 2. They only booked a 2-bedroom house for 10 people and they expect a family of 4 with children that wake up at the drop of a hat to share a room with one of 2 of said siblings. It's not that I have a problem with this family, but I certainly do not know them well enough to share a bedroom with them, and I think it's completely unfair to expect 2 very young children to stay in a shared room with anyone but their parents. I also think it's unfair to the sibling to be forced to share a room with a family of 4 with 2 very young kids who wake up a bunch at night. I offered to my husband to go down for 3 nights and 2 days in a hotel room because I don't want to spend a bunch of money on this trip when 2 months later, we have a trip scheduled that we actually are having to pay for. We have had this trip planned since 2023, and this new trip was originally going to be a cruise that we weren't going to go to anyways because I get severely motion sick. My husband is annoyed that I can't stomach the room sharing, but I also will be the one dealing with the girls 90% of the time. His family doesn't respect anything I say when it comes to parenting our kids. They both will still be taking naps once a day, and the biggest thing for me, I was forced into this trip. We're going to a place where the girls aren't even going to have much freedom to do anything already. I'm not incredibly annoyed and trying my best to give options so we can go for him, but I just think the whole situation is utter bullshit. And for our next post, am I the idiot for ignoring my friend throwaway account BC? I don't want her seeing this, but I have a friend F15 who we'll call Lily. Lily's extremely popular and social, meaning it's easy for her to make friends. We recently met up at a social event outside of school where there were about 300,400 people. She already knew about 6 people there, 4 of which were scheduled to be in the same room, plus were incredibly close to her. The event coordinator told us where to sit, and I got seated next to this autistic girl who was younger than me, and who, frankly, would not leave me alone. I didn't have any problem with this, as I understand it was her first time in this kind of massive event, and I felt a strange sense of responsibility over her. In the middle of this 3-day, 8-hour-long event, I started feeling Lily get upset at me. She stopped participating in conversations whenever I tried to talk to her, and she kept running off to other people whenever I tried asking her what was wrong and if everything was all right. After lunch break, she suddenly just left. Just like that. I messaged her immediately, asking if everything was all right, if we could talk about what had happened, and she blew up at me, saying shit about how she felt left out, how she's tired of sucking up to other people. At school she ignored me completely, and shadowed me to this guy and called me annoying to him. That, honestly, really hurt. I try really hard to make sure everyone's okay, and barely take time to evaluate my own self, and yet, it feels like no one likes me still, even my own friend. I'm still in pure shock that this happened. It's been a week, she's still ignoring me. I feel terrible. I have no other friends. I'm so confused. And for our next post, am I the idiot H for telling my roommate's boyfriend to pay rent or get out? So, my roommate 23F and me 24F live together. Everything has been perfect up until she got this new boyfriend. At first I was so happy for her and excited that she now has someone in her life that makes her happy. The problem is he started staying here without either of them telling me about it. I just casually mentioned one day that they had been attached at the hip, and she dropped the bomb that he's living here. When I confronted her about not talking about it with me first, she said they also had not talked about it together yet either. Great, so y'all also don't communicate with each other. That makes me feel better. But at that point it had only been a number of days. By now it has been over a month. The story goes the guy's ex-girlfriend is abusive and he is stuck on a lease with her and she will not leave. From what I understand, she is not physically or sexually abusive, but she verbally berates him and makes him feel uncomfortable. He does have family he can stay with. They are loving and supportive, but they are out of state, so he would have to commute to work, which would suck. If I'm completely honest, my first preference is that he is not here at all and stays with his family until the lease is up or until he can save up to break the lease. My second preference would be that he pays 1/3 of the rent, or at least a portion of the rent, since he is moved in and living here. He is not doing either one of those things. He claims he is going to save his money to break the lease on his current apartment so he can get out and find his own place. I have no idea how much money he has saved up. I have no idea how much he makes on a monthly basis or how long realistically this is going to take. He communicates nothing to me. He doesn't talk to me. He doesn't acknowledge me. Like even when I come home he doesn't say hi or ask me how my day was. He doesn't have to do that. It just exacerbates how uncomfortable it is. Lol. I'm also saying that to illustrate that I do not know this man personally. We are not friends. My roommate also does not give me any updates when plans change. Literally every time I figure out something new about his situation it's because I have to go out of my way to ask. For someone who is living here rent-free you'd think they'd be more willing to explain why that is to be the case. My breaking point was when my roommate told me he wants to save up for a car. A car? He's living here rent-free and he wants to buy a new car. So, am I the idiot? Alright, that's it for this one. If these stories made you smile or think, hit like and subscribe for more. Oh, and don't forget to share your own stories in the comments. I love hearing them. See you next time. It's Kathleen. See you all later.